Chelsea continued their mini unbeaten run against Fulham by beating their neighbours in a 2-0 win. This not only continues Chelsea's top form, but extends Chelsea's unbeaten run at home in the Premier League this year. We'll be looking into the tactics on how Maresca's men made this happen. Please remember to like and subscribe. We start with Chelsea's lineup. Maresca used the same lineup as the West Ham game with no changes there, while Fulham also used their lineup with the four at the back but different shapes in and out of possession. If we see here, Castagna started as a right wing back that becomes a right winger when Fulham were in possession and becomes a right wing back when Fulham were out of possession. Meanwhile, Chelsea's in possession shape was the same as the previous game against West Ham and was the diamond midfield with the same formation, the same players, so nothing changes there as Maresca uses a diamond midfield against a back five, which Fulham were out of possession. So why did Fulham have a good first half and even a probably better first half than Chelsea? Fulham tried to be aggressive in their press to force Chelsea to go long and win the second balls when Chelsea do go long. You could see it here, Cucurella gets pressed by Lukic. Enzo comes deep to receive the ball from Cucurella, but Castagna drops and follows Enzo when he drops deep, which forces Tosin to go long here in this instance. Tosin goes long and is intercepted by Berge. The lap is also marked by a few of Fulham's players, so Chelsea loses ball in this instance. Fulham receive this ball and start an attack, and attack quickly as they plan to do throughout the first half. It was Fulham's plan to win the second balls and start attacks quickly against an unsettled Chelsea defense. Let's go to the tactics board to see how Fulham's press was. You could see when Cucurella was on the ball, Lukic came to press Cucurella. Muniz and Josh King were here to stop the ball from going back to Tosin or Chalobah, cutting the passing lanes to just this side of the pitch. Caicedo was being marked by Iwobi as well as Enzo being marked by Castagna. So the only option for Cucurella to do now is to play this ball long this way. And at the back, you could see Anderson, Bassi, and Sander Berge were there to win the second balls or even the first balls if they could. And most times they were able to. And Fulham were able to win the ball back and start their counter-attacks. You could see the aim of Fulham here was to segment Chelsea to one side of the pitch, not pressing Gusto with no man on Gusto. Sessegnon also came in to compress the pitch, which made it hard for Chelsea to be able to play out in the first half. Throughout the first half, Chelsea struggled to win second balls, which Fulham were intent on winning and attacking quickly from those ball wins. There were moments where Chelsea won their first ball but failed to win the second ball, and Fulham capitalized on that. There were instances where Caicedo could win a tackle or a recovery, but there was no Chelsea player close by to be able to win those second balls, and that's what Fulham used in the first half. Here we see another instance where Cucurella wins the first ball, but where's the second ball? Neto does not recover the second ball. Tete gets hold of the second ball and quickly Fulham attack. The ball ends up with Lukic at the edge of Chelsea's box and Fulham attack quickly. Lukic puts the ball through the legs of Cucurella and gives the ball to Josh King, who makes a run, and the ball is laid back to Castagna. If not for the interception of Caicedo, Chelsea will be 1-0 down. But those were the chances that Fulham had that were few and far between throughout the first half and the whole game in general. Chelsea really did well to limit these chances against Fulham. Another thing that was significant with the way Fulham played in the first half to win all those second balls and attack Chelsea quickly was that Chelsea were not allowed to build momentum and keep pressure on Fulham while trying to attack, which really killed a lot of Chelsea's attacks. Despite Chelsea not being allowed to play by Fulham, Chelsea still found a way to be in front at the halftime break with a set piece again. And as we analyzed versus West Ham, we saw how Cucurella was important in starting the set piece by coming deep to receive the ball from Enzo Fernandez, but making a run back into the box, forcing a defender out of the way and making them unbalanced to be able to set themselves for a set piece. The ball comes in, and instead of a near post ball like the previous games, it is a flat ball into the box for Joao Pedro to head. Joao Pedro latches onto the ball with a divine header, putting the ball in the back of the net. And Chelsea are 1-0 up at the halftime break, which changes the game completely for Fulham, even though they started well. To emphasize my point, if we look at the stats, Fulham only created 0.31 xg with no big chances created. Despite Chelsea not having the greatest half and Fulham doing their best to stop Chelsea from playing, Fulham could not really capitalize on the situation. So in the second half, Chelsea improved, but they needed to improve at two things. Number one, controlling the game much better and building up much better against Fulham's press. And number two, not letting their rest defense get attacked quickly, which means recovering the ball much better and handling the physicality of Fulham much better. An example to show Chelsea counter-pressing much better was here when Fulham cleared the ball out of their box. Tosin forces Muniz to lose the ball by putting pressure on him. Sessegnon tries to find a Fulham player, but he does not. What does he find? Caicedo winning the ball back, and Chelsea doing what Fulham did to them in the first half instead, keeping pressure on them and counter-pressing to win the ball and continue their attack. Chelsea started to use shorter passes to build up, as opposed to the longer passes they were doing and making in the first half because Delap was on the pitch to be able to evade Fulham's pressure. In the second half, Enzo Fernandez improved because he was asked to drop deep more than the first half, and he was allowed to dictate the play a bit more and allow Chelsea to build up with shorter passes to then attack Fulham's backline and create chances. Here, Cucurella receives the ball in the build-up, gives the ball to Neto, and finds a very good line-breaking pass to Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro turns his man, and Chelsea are on the attack. The ball ends up in the box, with Chelsea having 5 men against Fulham's 5 men, which means Chelsea can create a good chance. What also helped Chelsea with this was Chelsea gaining more confidence after getting their second goal through a penalty that Enzo Fernandez scored. But Chelsea began to play their game much better after feeling settled in the match. As we've seen in the second half, Chelsea, after their goals, started to become better in possession and started to have the confidence to play shorter passes, build up slowly, and make Fulham to press, creating gaps and spaces to attack. We also saw a lot of rotations from Chelsea's front men and all of the players on the pitch. You could see an illustration of this with Neto starting as the right winger, dribbling inside with the ball, and Gusto taking his place at the right hand side. This started when Neto won the ball in his own half and started a counter. Esteval was already pressing on the left hand side and decided to stay on the left, which made Neto to end up on the right and Esteval on the left here. Neto and Gusto now exchange positions, with Gusto dribbling inside the pitch and Neto going out wide. This drags Sessegnon out and creates a space for Gusto. So if Gusto plays the ball to Joao Pedro now, Joao Pedro can easily give a third man ball to Neto out wide. That's how rotations can drag the opposition team around the place. Another rotation we see in the same passing sequence is Caicedo playing the ball to Esteval after Esteval and Enzo Fernandez also interchanged positions. This started with Enzo passing to Caicedo and making a darting run wide, while Esteval makes a run inside and Caicedo gives that one-time ball to Esteval. In the same passing sequence, Estevao now makes his movement to the center of the pitch where Chelsea have a concentration of players to be able to link up play. Neto is still out wide as he was after his rotation with Gusto, and Gusto remains in the right half space. Chalobah carries the ball forward in this instance, and now Chalobah is out from the back into this space in the center of the pitch. George from striker position now makes his way to the left wing position. Enzo Fernandez vacates the left wing position and then comes inside the pitch. Gusto now becomes a striker in this instance, and this is another rotation. This passing sequence with lots of rotation ends with Neto having the space to take his man 1v1 and put a ball in the box, and with Neto and Estevao, the two wingers on each side, on one side of the pitch. Now this is interesting because last season Chelsea were a bit more rigid in possession, and these rotations and movements were not really the game. But now Chelsea are able to utilize rotations to bring opposition teams out of their shape and create chances. We will see more of this during the season from Maresca's men. The game ended 2-0 to Maresca's men, with Chelsea tweaking their game and improving from their first half performance with a better counter press to win the penalty and closing out the game with strong box defending when Fulham also tried to get back in the game. This is a very strong start for Maresca's men with 2 wins and 1 draw so far this season to keep them unbeaten at the start of the season, which is a very, very strong start. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and let's see how Chelsea continues this season as it goes.